ลุ้นนะครับคู่อื่นประจำสัปดาห์ครับเขาตีโอ้ยหักธนเดชร้านครับตีเข่าขวาโอ้ตีเข่าซ้ายครับแม่ลากไปไหนก็ไปแล้วครับพาไปเที่ยวแม่เสลียงซะเลยครับตอนนี้โอ้โหกำปั้นขวาโอ้โหแกมีอาวุธเยอะครับธนเดชหมัด 1-2 มีฟันศอกมีแทงเข่าครับโอ้โหประเภทเล็กพริกขี้หนูแม่เพชรลูกฟางแก้เกมหน่อยไหวครับเพราะว่ามันโอ้โหดูครับไปอ่ะพยายามจะสู้ด้วยเขาโอ้โหดูครับอย่างนี้เขาเรียกว่า
This is a session with Thanadet Torpron 49. Thanadet is still an active fighter. He is very well constructed as a clinch and knee fighter. I wanted to work only on this long clinch that he's very well known for, and he has perfected this kind of rare technique. Nobody does it like Thanadet. If you were holding on a bar and you just put all your weight back to stretch your shoulders out, that's the shape he's making. Whereas I'm curved, but look at him come under my chin, and he's putting his forearms on my neck. He's making a point about how if the opponent is tall, you make your arms longer rather than making your body higher. He makes a 4 out of his arms. We also call this the zip tie. So he basically keeps one arm straight, and the other one that folds over it, that's the one that's pinching the head of his opponent into his own head. See how he hooked my arm for a second just to like pull it out of the way, and then he got into his position? See how he pulls his hips back but he doesn't have his ass back, and his knees are bent? See how he just pulls his hips all the way back, but he's not losing his center of balance ever. Look how long. And there I'm trying to turn him, but because his head is under my jaw, any amount of strength I try to do to move him is pretty ineffective. One of the ways that you change position in clinch without getting in trouble for it is to distract your opponent first. So if I need to move my upper body's position, you distract them by kneeing down low or trying to trip down low or something. So this is one of the reasons that he manipulates the arms first, is that you're like, we're struggling with arms, and so you're focused on whatever he's moving, and then he can pop into his position very fast because you're thinking about something else. I can be static in the position, but when you need to move in the position too, that's what shows you whether your lock is true or not. If it's a true lock, you can move as much as you want and it stays exactly the same, like an alligator's jaws don't move. Whereas when I try to move with this locked position, tiny changes are occurring in the position around his head, and it creates little openings for him to get out. So the difference between a true lock and a like only in a static position lock is whether or not it stays super tight while you're moving. This is the crazy thing. He never gets into a position where his body is close to his opponent, and because his head is all tucked under the chin, he says he watches the legs. When you're learning how to clinch, you don't want to watch people's legs at all. You want to learn how to feel things. Karahat also told me that he watches the legs while clinching, which means that you can feel everything too, but when you get in a position where you have multiple senses, you can feel it and you can see, you have an advantage. Learning how to put tension in the right spots and relaxation in the right spots from this position is what's a huge difference between his level and my following along with what he's trying to show me. But that's true of all clinching, is starting to feel things and not being tense everywhere, but only tense where you need it. The brilliant thing about being able to work on a single technique like this for this long is that you realize how much of it is feeling. Like, it works okay from like, do this and this, and you can do that, those two positions. But then when people start fighting against it and they start trying to find the weaknesses in it, and you try to do it under fatigue and all of these different things, you feel all the little nuances that as you adjust to them, turn something from that was a good move into a complete art form advantage. The way that Thanadet has perfected this technique requires like 20 hours of this plus to like feel out all those little differences.